Underwater is a scary story about a girl whose best friend is haunted by horrible nightmares in which she drowns. I would like to tell you a story about my best friend. Her name was Marina. She was a true friend and was always by my side. Whenever I have problems, Marina was my shoulder to cry on. She was like a sister to me. One night I had a terrible argument with my mother and father. I called Marina and asked permission to come. She said that she would be very glad to see me, and I went to her house. When she opened the door, I immediately rushed inside and burst into tears. She asked what had happened and I told her about the quarrel with my parents. She told me to calm down and took me to the kitchen to pour me a cup of tea. I drank and we got to talking. It was getting late and she asked me to spend the night. I accepted her offer with great pleasure. Marina allowed me to sleep in her bed, and she slept on the couch. I lay awake for a long time, thinking about my parents. Suddenly I heard Marina scream, "No! No!" I jumped out of bed and ran into the living room. Arriving there, I saw Marina rushing back and forth across the floor, clutching her neck with both hands. And again she screamed, "No!" I ran up to her and began to slap her in the face. Marina opened her eyes and looked at me. An expression of horror appeared on her face. I asked her what happened and the only thing she said was, "He came again." I put her to bed, poured water into a glass and gave her a drink. When she calmed down, she told me a story that shook me to the core. A few days earlier, she and her friends had gone on a hike to the lake. In the vicinity, the lake was notorious. According to legend, a man was brutally killed in the lake. They say it happened in the early 1980s, and since then, if someone goes here to swim at night, they will grab him by the legs and drag him to the bottom of the lake. When Marina and her friends arrived at the lake, it was already evening. By the time they pitched their tents and lit a fire, it was already dark. The night was hot, so Marina decided to plunge into the lake and swim. She undressed and dived naked into the water. The water was very pleasant, but suddenly she felt something grab her legs and pull her down. She only managed to shout, "Help!" before her head disappeared under the water. She said that, floundering in the dark depths, trying to free herself, she opened her eyes and saw something that frightened her. It was the rotting face of a dead man. Marina said that she lost consciousness, and when she woke up, she was already on the shore. One of her friends saved her. He saw her scream, then disappeared under the water and dived after her. His quick reaction saved her life. She told everyone what happened when she was underwater, but no one believed her. They told her that she must have been hallucinating when she was drowning. I myself did not know if I believed in her story, but I knew from the look on her face that she believed. She begged me to come and see her the next evening. She was afraid to stay alone one night. Every night she needed someone by her side to rescue her from the clutches of this vile creature. I promised her that I would be back tomorrow night. We spent the night in her bed together, and in the morning I got up, took a shower and went home. That evening, when I was about to return to Marina's house, my mother came into my room and asked if I would sit with my brother for a couple of hours while she was away. I agreed, but warned her that I could only stay for 2 hours. She got dressed and left. I called Marina and said that I would see her in 2 hours. She said she would wait for me. Mom still hasn't come home 2 hours later. I started to get nervous. Another hour passed, but no one showed up. I took out a book and began to read my brother a bedtime story. Half an hour later we both fell asleep. I woke up to the sound of the door being opened. When I opened my eyes, I saw that the sun was already shining through the windows. I rushed to the door and saw my parents standing there. They told me that they met with friends at the cinema and went to visit them. "How could you do this?" I said and burst into tears. I ran to the phone and dialed Marina's number, but no one answered. I quickly got dressed and rushed to Marina's house. When I went to her door, I saw that it was wide open and there were many people in uniform entering and leaving her apartment. I squeezed inside and before anyone could stop me, I saw Marina. She was lying on the floor beside her bed, covered with a sheet. I ran up to her, but someone grabbed my hand and said, "What are you doing here?" I turned my head and saw that the hand holding me belonged to the policeman. I told him that I would not say anything until I found out what happened. He told me that Marina was dead. They thought she was strangled. After the interrogation, the police took my fingerprints and released me. I ran home, locked myself in my room, lay down on the bed and cried. 3 days later, I attended Marina's funeral. Every day I go to the cemetery to visit her. I bring her favorite flowers and put them on her grave. I still can't believe my best friend is dead. The strangest thing was what I learned from her mother. She said that Marina was not strangled at all. The police performed an autopsy and found 4 liters of water in her lungs. Somehow, while she was fast asleep in her bed, Marina drowned. Subscribe to the channel not to miss new stories.